There's a kind of power most people never notice until it's standing right in front of them. It doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't argue to be heard. It doesn't chase validation or beg for approval. And still, the moment it enters a room, something shifts. Conversations slow down. Energy changes. People become aware, almost instinctively, that someone different just arrived. Not louder, not flashier, just undeniable. Because real presence isn't about performance. It's about certainty. It's the calm confidence of someone who knows exactly who they are and doesn't feel the need to prove it. No over-explaining, no forcing attention, no trying to win people over, just quiet control and unshakable self-respect. And here's what most people miss. That level of respect can't be demanded. It can't be faked. And it definitely can't be begged for. It's built silently, through discipline, through boundaries, through the way you carry yourself when no one's watching. And once you step into that energy, you stop chasing recognition. Because without saying a single word, you become someone people can't ignore. Most people misunderstand respect, and that misunderstanding costs them everything. They think it's about being louder, talking longer, explaining every move, defending every decision, trying to win everyone over. So they keep proving, justifying, performing. And slowly, without realizing it, they lose the very thing they're chasing. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you try to convince people of your worth, the less they believe it. Why? Because real value doesn't ask for permission to exist. It doesn't beg to be recognized. It doesn't chase approval. It radiates. Respect isn't built through words. It's built through alignment, the way you walk into a room, the way you hold eye contact, the way you stay grounded when pressure hits. It's in your boundaries, what you tolerate and what you don't. It's in your energy, calm, steady, unshaken. It's in your choices, especially when no one is watching. Because people don't listen to what you say nearly as much as they study how you live. And when your actions, your standards, and your self-worth all match, you don't have to announce your value. They feel it. The first silent signal of respect isn't what you say. It's what you don't do. It's your ability to stay composed when everything around you is trying to pull you out of control. Because anyone can react, anyone can snap back, anyone can let emotions take over in the heat of the moment. That's easy. But the person who pauses, who breathes, who chooses not to react instantly, that person stands out in a way that words never could. Because emotional control is rare, and rare things get respected. When chaos rises and you remain steady, it sends a powerful message. I'm not ruled by impulse. I'm guided by intention. You're not ignoring the moment. You're mastering it. And that kind of control creates presence. It makes people think twice before crossing you. It makes them listen more carefully. It makes them realize you're not easily shaken, because calm isn't weakness. Calm is discipline under pressure. Calm is strength that doesn't need to prove itself. And in a world full of reactions, the one who remains in control becomes the one others quietly admire and never forget. Watch closely the next time someone with real presence walks into a room. There's no rush, no nervous energy, no need to fill space with unnecessary movement. They don't fidget, they don't chase attention, they don't move like they have something to prove. Every step feels measured, every gesture feels controlled, every action carries intention, and that's not an accident. Because when you're truly confident, you're not racing for validation. You're not trying to be seen. You already know your value. So you slow down, not out of hesitation, but out of certainty. That kind of movement sends a message without a single word. I'm in control. I'm grounded. I'm not here to impress. I'm here to exist on my own terms. And people feel that. They may not understand it consciously, but they recognize it instantly. Because most people move from pressure, from insecurity, from the need to prove. But when you move with intention, you separate yourself from the noise. You create presence. And over time, that presence turns into something powerful. Belief, not just in yourself, but in the eyes of everyone watching you. This is the moment where respect is either built or quietly lost. Because most people, when challenged, start explaining. They justify their choices. They defend their boundaries. They try to make everyone understand. And in doing that, they give their power away. Because the more you explain, the more you invite debate. The more you justify, the more you signal uncertainty. But people with real presence move differently. They don't feel the need to convince. They don't seek approval for their decisions. They choose, and they stand by it. No long speeches, no emotional back and forth, no exhausting attempts to be understood by everyone. Just clarity, just firmness, just quiet certainty. And that kind of energy changes how people treat you, because over time, they realize something important. You can't be pressured. You can't be guilt-tripped. You can't be controlled by emotions that aren't yours. You don't react to every push. You don't bend to every expectation. You move when you decide to move. And once people understand that, they stop testing your limits. They start respecting them. Silence is one of the most misunderstood forms of power. Most people fear it. They rush to fill it. They speak just to avoid the discomfort. Because silence exposes insecurity. It forces people to sit with their thoughts, their emotions, their uncertainty. But those who carry real strength, they don't run from silence. They use it. They let it stretch. They let it breathe. They let it do the talking for them. Because silence creates space. Space creates pressure. When you don't respond immediately, when you don't jump in to explain, when you simply pause, you shift the entire dynamic. Now people lean in. Now they start thinking twice. Now they begin to measure their words more carefully. Because your silence feels intentional, not empty. It carries weight. It signals control. It shows that you're not reacting. You're choosing. And that choice, that restraint, it creates a presence that feels grounded, powerful, unshakable. You're no longer just part of the conversation. You define it. And in a world where everyone is trying to be heard, the one who masters silence becomes the one everyone listens to. There's a turning point most people never reach. The moment they stop needing approval. Because as long as you're looking for permission to be accepted, you're unconsciously handing over your power. Every time you wait for validation, every time you adjust yourself to fit expectations, every time you choose approval over authenticity, you shrink. And people feel that because neediness, no matter how subtle, erodes authority. But something shifts when you let that go. When you become okay with not being understood, okay with not being liked by everyone, okay with standing alone if that's what it takes to stay true to yourself. That's where real strength begins. You stop performing, you stop explaining, you stop seeking reassurance, and instead, you stand firm in who you are. Not loud, not defensive, not trying to prove anything, just grounded, just certain, just self-assured. And that kind of energy is rare. It doesn't chase attention. It attracts it. It doesn't ask for respect. It creates it. Because when you no longer need approval, people start realizing you were never someone to be validated. You are someone to be respected. Anyone can say the right thing in the moment. Anyone can make a promise when it sounds good. Anyone can create an impression with words, but words fade. What stays is what you do next. Because respect isn't built in a single conversation. It's built in repetition. In the patterns people begin to notice over time. Do you show up when it's inconvenient? Do you keep your word when no one's reminding you? Do you stay the same person, regardless of who's watching? That's where trust is formed. Not in what you claim, but in what you consistently prove. Because inconsistency creates doubt, and doubt destroys respect faster than anything else. But when your actions align again and again and again, something powerful happens. People stop second-guessing you. They stop needing reassurance. They stop questioning your intentions because they already know. Your reliability becomes your reputation, and your reputation speaks long before you ever do. That's the real shift, when your presence alone carries weight, not because of what you said once, but because of what you've shown every single time. So the next time you feel that pressure rising, that urge to explain yourself, to prove your worth, to make people finally see who you are, pause. Don't rush to speak. Don't rush to defend. Don't rush to be understood. Just stand there, grounded. Let your actions speak louder than your words ever could. Say less. Do more. Hold your standards. Move with intention. Protect your energy like it matters, because it does. And remember this: the loudest voice in the room might grab attention, but it rarely earns respect. Respect belongs to the one who stays composed under pressure, who doesn't fold when tested, who doesn't chase approval or validation, the one who moves in silence but carries undeniable presence. That's the person people watch. That's the person people remember. That's the person people respect, without even knowing why. Now it's your turn. Look at your life honestly. Which of these traits are already part of who you are, and which one are you ready to step into next? Drop it in the comments, because everything changes the moment you stop chasing respect and start becoming someone who naturally commands it.